President Trump is taking his midterm message to Texas today as a closely watched Senate race intensifies just days before voters head to the polls. He plans to promote his energy and economic policies, seeking to capitalize on his State of the Union address from Tuesday, where he declared a return to economic prosperity and a more secure America. Nancy Cordes is at the White House. So, Nancy, President Trump is hitting the road to tout his economic policies. His visit comes just days before the Republican primary. The president endorsed John Cornyn in 2020. So why has the president stayed on the sidelines this time around?
Hey, Elaine, good to see you. Well, it's because another one of the candidates, Ken Paxton, who is actually the front runner right now, he's the Texas Attorney General, is a longtime MAGA ally of President Trump's. And so President Trump has been reluctant to weigh in. The problem now is that Paxton has been embroiled in a series of scandals, both personal and professional. And there are Republicans in the state who worry that if Paxton wins next Tuesday, that could make the state vulnerable to a Democratic pickup on that Senate seat in the fall. And so there are some Republicans who want President Trump to come off the sidelines, maybe endorse John Cornyn again. So we'll see what the president has to say about any of these candidates when he is in Texas today. He's invited all of them to attend his events, but the question is whether he singles any one of them out in particular and indicates that that's who he is supporting for Senate.
On the international front, President Trump was asked about the potential of a prolonged conflict with Iran while leaving the White House earlier. Let's listen to some of that.
We haven't made a final decision. We're not exactly happy with the way they negotiated. They cannot have nuclear weapons, and we're not thrilled with the way they're negotiating. So we'll see how it all works. We have the greatest military anywhere in the world. There's nothing close. I'd love not to use it, but sometimes you have to.
Nancy, where does the prospect of further talks stand right now to solve this issue diplomatically?
Well, there are more talks scheduled for Monday in Vienna with the International Atomic Energy Agency, and the Iranians had been reporting that the talks were going well. In fact, they said that yesterday were the most extensive, most detailed talks so far, and they felt that they were getting closer to an agreement. And that's why so many of us out there on the White House South Lawn wanted to ask the president how things are going from his point of view. And it was a bit of a surprise when he said he doesn't think that things are going well. And obviously that increases concerns that he might take some kind of military approach to the divide that exists right now between the U.S. and Iran when it comes to Iran's nuclear program.
And quickly, Nancy, he also addressed Cuba following that deadly boat attack and recent sanctions. What is he saying now about Cuba?
You know, he made this sort of offhand comment where he said, well, there might be regime change in Cuba soon. And that, you know, perked a lot of ears because it wasn't clear whether he was indicating that the U.S. would be involved in that regime change or if it was just something that he was predicting would happen internally due to domestic pressure within Cuba. But nevertheless, that's something that we're now asking the White House about and something that is going to cause some interest and perhaps even some alarm throughout Latin America.
All right, more to come on that, I'm sure. Nancy Cordes, Nancy, thank you.
You're welcome.